Well, the top 1% don't produce anything.
We don't?
No, they accumulate. Well, I mean, the top 1% of the population, you know, includes a lot of people. I'm talking about includes people
Did
that...
Steve Jobs produce something?
Steve Jobs' wealth. Steve Jobs himself had a lot of good ideas, but the wealth he accumulated was produced by others.
Steve Jobs didn't produce anything.
Steve Jobs took in the wealth that others produced. No, he didn't.
Okay, so without Steve Jobs, the world would have been down one laborer. If Steve Jobs had never been born, the world would basically be the same, because he didn't produce anything. Is that right?
Well, I think that somebody else would have invented the things.
A product they wanted to buy.
So Steve Jobs had a great idea, therefore he should be a billionaire.
Absolutely.
Well, we just disagree. You know, I think Steve Jobs and all the other Steve Jobs in the world, like most researchers, in fact, most R&D that goes on, can be salaried employees of the majority. And they can produce things for the good of everybody, and they will.
So the way Steve Jobs actually did what he did was that he came up with ideas, and he voluntarily associated himself with other people in the corporation who could help him generate those products, and then he voluntarily sold those products to everyone who wanted to buy them. And they voluntarily paid their money to get them. The system you're interested in is one in which somehow that voluntary web of associations is no longer allowed.
Correct.
So instead of those voluntary associations, what would you put in its place? Who would make all the decisions?
All the decisions would be made democratically.
Like, for instance, when Athens democratically decided to kill Socrates.
Well, I mean, that was a job done by the Democrats. I don't believe there's any need for you know, individuals like Steve Jobs in this system to flourish based on you know, their particular talents or their particular genius. I don't believe that it's possible to continue this type of system. It's a retrograde system. It's a system that no longer works. It creates war, it creates mass unemployment, it creates poverty. You know, I mean, to hell with Steve Jobs.